Yay! Thank you for coming. I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
Thank you
Everything
for
is so
having me.
nice. Everything is so cozy. Do you like it?
I love it. I'm so impressed with the setup.
Believe me, me too. I'm so impressed. I was like, oh my God, everything, I ordered everything and I was like, oh, I have to do that. I have to do that. And I was worried that, oh, maybe I order everything and I would never do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you for coming and
Yeah.
supporting me.
Of course.
Yay!
I'm so proud of you and I'm excited to be your first guest.
Yes. Yahoo! I'm
Uh,
gonna post everything and I'm gonna post on Instagram so you also like follow, not to follow, how to say that, put it on your page or
oh
something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
like
like
repost it.
repost it
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
So what are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about the social media addiction.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice. So what do you think? Um, just do you have anything you'd like to start with?
I would say what the first thing that comes to mind when I think of that is like using social media as you would another substance, as kind of an escape when you're not happy in your own life or dealing with difficult emotions, and just using it as a way to kind of numb yourself and kind of like tune out your own life and kind of go into another world kind of thing. And I think it can kind of leave you with that same empty feeling that like substances can, like that kind of, I don't know if you have ever gone out drinking and it's fine, I'm not against partying or drinking, but to the point where it's done in kind of an unhealthy way and you kind of go out and drink and you kind of feel happy and numb to everything, and then the next morning you wake up and you feel empty or you have regrets. And I feel like I sometimes get that same feeling when I have been on Instagram or TikTok for 3 hours and you kind of
Oh,
turn off your phone and you have that, like, what did I just do? Like that like
right.
empty kind of, oh, well, why did I just do that feeling? Like regret or guilt maybe. And so I think that social, like, I don't know where I was going with that, but like how
Yeah, right.
it can be a substance kind of.
When you don't have your, when you don't enjoy or you don't like your own
Mhm.
life, you like start scrolling and
Yeah. Yeah.
observe other people's lives. Like, oh my God, he's done that, he's done that. But
Mhm.
I think it also in that like trouble way gives you that, oh my God, so for example, when you see a person, oh my God, he has a podcast and I still don't have it.
Exactly.
I'm a I'm a nobody or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
that's also difficult with
Yeah.
the, and I think people don't really understand that it's also like a drug.
Mhm.
So like, oh, you know what, I don't do drugs, I don't do alcohol,
Mhm.
but they don't recognize that also like scrolling social media is also like a drug.
Yeah. You're still getting that dopamine and you're still seeking out that high basically of that you feel when you are online.
Oh
Like
my God, I'm high on social media, that's crazy.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, like I can definitely feel that kind of like that impulse to like scroll, and I notice that I feel that when I'm like need that dopamine, when I feel like, oh, like I need that hit. That
You
same,
need, I need more, I need more.
yeah, yeah, that same kind of like you're seeking something out to like fill this bad feeling or whatever you're feeling in that moment. If you're feeling tired, I mean, I scroll a lot when I'm tired, and I feel like it kind of like numbs me a little bit, and then I'm like, so I don't know. I don't.
So after you scroll, like, do you still feel tired or do you feel like, oh, I'm not tired anymore, I have to do something?
I think I feel more tired. But like at night, like I'll be really tired and ready to go to bed, but then I'm scrolling for 2 hours.
Is it difficult for you to like fall asleep after that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. What
That's
about for you?
crazy. I try not to scroll,
Mhm.
but I still do. And
Mhm.
sometimes I even then I'm already like kind of sleeping. I was like, oh, it's difficult for me to sleep. I
Yeah.
take my phone and start
Yes.
scrolling. It's like,
Yes.
oh, and I tell myself that it helps me to fall asleep.
Right.
But it's, I guess it's not helping me at all.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, people don't, and I think people also don't talk about that. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, that's fine, that's fine. and Instagram and whatever social medias, they design their way to like
Mhm. Keep you
keep you scrolling.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, so how long do you scroll for, like every day?
I think I've gotten a lot better. Like I find I set timers on my phone. So like right now I have 45 minutes
For
to
timer for like
in,
Instagram
Instagram and TikTok are
for
like really
45 minutes.
yeah, for 45 minutes each. And I try to limit it to that and not like do the ignore
Ignore
thing
button,
when it
yes.
when it comes up. But yeah, I would say I try to be really good and try not to go in and scroll, but I find myself like it happens. Some days I'm there for 2 hours
Oh, that's
and
so you still like put that ignore
yeah,
button.
yeah,
It's because I do too.
yeah.
I have an Instagram for 1 hour and I think 45 minutes.
Mhm.
No, yeah, like 1 hour 45 minutes, and I
Mhm.
think it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And for TikTok, I think I have 2 minutes, 10 minutes, ten
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
because TikTok I think is more addictive.
Definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, to me, so it's crazy.
Uh,
So do you have any recommendation? Like, do you have any tips to like scroll less on Instagram?
I would say being aware that it's a habit and like for me it's like noticing when I want to do it and like how I've kind of created that. I think we've kind of talked about this
Yeah,
before. Like kind of created it a habit into my routine whereas like in bed when I lay down to go to sleep, I'm not going to get my phone. I'm trying to like break that habit of when I lay down in bed I want to scroll. And so I'm trying not to do that. So over time you just don't really crave it anymore, just like with any other
because we
like
are creatures of
yeah,
habits.
kind of trying to break that habit. And same with yeah, I think that's like my biggest tip is like noticing when you want to scroll and like do I want to go on and check my friend's post? Okay, that's one thing. Or do I want to go on because I have nothing else to do and I should be sleeping but I want to go on and scroll, and then it's like, okay, do you need to do that right now? Like maybe I,
Like
saying
be
like
aware.
yeah, being more like aware and just mindful about why you're going onto your phone and why you're going to scroll. I
Like
think.
probably you before you go, before you start scrolling, you like
Mm,
ask yourself, okay, what am I
yeah,
doing? Like what am I doing? Why am I doing for something
yeah,
like that?
yeah. What am I gonna get out of this?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So my another tip is I started recently posting more,
Mhm.
like doing more like reels on Instagram,
Mhm.
and I noticed that I scroll less when I create.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, yesterday, I think I talked to myself and I thought, oh my God, you're not scrolling like a lot
Uh huh.
recently because like you try to create your own stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah. So you don't want that like
I don't want that. Like
that interference.
I enjoy creating.
Yeah.
I try to enjoy my own life and
Yeah.
not scrolling anymore. That's crazy. I was like, wow, that's a good tip, I think,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
create.
Absolutely.
Remember that Joe told us that you have to, I even wrote it down,
Mhm.
to create an addiction to social media, but not in a scrolling way, in a
Mm.
creation way.
Yeah.
So like, and he told us, oh my God, I have 8 or 10 hours of screen time,
Mhm.
but I'm not
But it's
scrolling.
yeah.
I'm creating. So I was like, I do my lives and I
Yeah.
do. So what do you think?
I think that's really good.
Do you want to
Yeah.
try?
I do. I do. I really want to get into creating on social media and not
Nice.
yeah, you inspire me actually.
Nice.
Seeing your reels every day.
Yay!
They're so good and yeah.
Yeah, I made a like I talked to my friend and she's like, "When are you gonna post something on Instagram?" And I
Mhm.
was like, "No, you know what? I have to do that. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow."
Yeah.
And she told me, "Why not? Why not to start right now?" Because
Mhm.
I always like postpone everything. It's
Mhm.
like with the podcast the same. It's like I
Yeah.
everything was ready maybe like 2 days ago, but I was like, "Yeah, I know we have an arrangement
Yeah.
for today, but
Yeah.
still like everything was ready 2 days ago, still my chairs were delivered. Those
Mhm.
are nice chairs. I love
They're so
it.
nice.
Cozy. Yes, and I was like, okay, let's do Friday. But I was thinking, oh my God. And I also was watching a lot of podcasts myself. I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God, they do that. Why I'm not like I can do
Yeah.
the same. so that is also affecting. So the kind of, I'm trying to be not I'm trying to scroll or watch those videos not in a jealousy way, but in a
Mhm.
like inspirational way. Kind of,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
they do podcasts, I can do the same.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Like kind of a motivation to like
like much,
start.
yes, like
Yeah.
oh my god, I have to do the same.
Yeah.
Because I really, I noticed maybe like a month ago that
Mhm.
I also, you know what they say, when you see a person and you don't like that person, it's like,
Mhm.
oh my god, I don't like that person.
Mhm.
But you usually, like, I start thinking, so if I don't like the person, what exactly I don't like in that
Yeah.
person? I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like the person because he's good in social media, or like
Mhm.
he does that, he does that.
Mhm.
And I was like, so that means that maybe I have to do the same. I have
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
like um I have to like, instead of hating him, I have or like that
Yeah.
person, instead of hating the person, I have to do the same. I have to maybe create.
Mhm.
But like a month ago, I started to focus on the positive things instead of saying, "Oh, I hate him because he does that and he does that," and that
Mhm.
means that I want to do the same thing.
Mhm.
I started to focus on the positive things, like, "Oh, what positive things I can take from him." For
Yeah.
example, or he's success with podcasts. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my god, I can do the same. I can be successful with my podcast too.
Mhm.
So not like in a negative way, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
Did you do this? Like, do you have those thoughts?
Yes, definitely. And I think actually that's a good tip for being on social media is following people that impact you in a good way. Like following people that inspire you to create or inspire you in some way or you can look up to and can give you a positive impact. So like you said, but I definitely follow people or see people and it's like, "Oh, like I don't like them." But like why don't you like them? Are you jealous of them or do you not
Yes.
like them because they're not a good person? Like you said kind of understanding like why I don't like them and then finding why I can be, or how I can be inspired by them. I think that's a good way to
Yeah,
use
it's like it's a
social
little bit
media.
it's a little bit
Yeah.
like an opposite way of
Yeah, I
thinking.
think that's really good. Yeah.
So yes, and I think also we need to be more positive in life in
Definitely.
general. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my
Yeah.
god, uh, and do not do the like the self hatred
Yeah.
talk to yourself.
Yeah.
It's like I always like, it's, oh, I'm not good enough, or this, the music I created not good enough, or the podcast is not good enough, or
Mhm.
like, or my podcast will not be interested, or something
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
But you have to like, no, like there are some people who is going to watch my podcast, or like there are some people who's gonna love my music, and same thing. Yes, so
Yeah.
like be more positive.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Do you think like people spend too much time on social media these days?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. And I think it's affected socially how we interact with
Oh
each other.
yes.
Um, and that was actually something that when I thought of this topic, I really kind of felt compelled to talk about is like kind of searching for that social connection in social media and kind of maybe filling that need, that social need temporarily or in a way that's kind of surface level, but you're not getting that like true connection with someone and then kind of still feeling empty and like needing that connection. Like that would be like eating lettuce when you're really hungry and maybe you're like filling your stomach physically temporarily, but you're still going to be craving and you're still going to be not satisfied. And I think a lot of people feel that way and that's that loneliness and that kind of emptiness we can kind of feel in a social way. I don't know.
Do you think it's like a problem with the new generation? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm old or you're.
Yeah.
I'm saying like you, but still you're younger than me.
Yeah.
And you were saying, when we were talking about that, you were saying that like it's a problem with your generation. Like you don't actually talk to each other. You're
Yeah.
like you're more on like on your phones. You
Mhm.
look.
Yeah.
Do you have those friends, like when you meet with your friends, do
Mhm.
you hide your phones, or is still like in your
No.
phones, something like
No.
that?
I think maybe that's why I tend to be friends with people that are like a little bit older because like when I'm with other people that are my age, I feel like we're just on our phones. Like even we'll all be together hanging out. And again, it depends on like your friends and but I would notice that like when I was in high school is we'd all be together, but we were all on our phones and nobody was talking, nobody was interacting. I also think that is different based on where you live. I think in the United States maybe that's a little more prevalent, but yeah, I don't know.
Do you
It's
think like people
strange.
live in their own like bubble?
Yes, yes. And I think I don't know. I think that when you are so used to that and like so maybe that's why it's in our generation because that's like what we know kind of and what we're comfortable with is being online and you like using our phones and I
Mhm.
think when you feel awkward or you feel uncomfortable your kind of mechanism is to go on your phone. And I think a lot of
Oh
people
yeah.
kind of go to that and then nobody knows how to navigate kind of like the awkward moments in a conversation because instead of doing that or trying to like move the conversation naturally, you just go on your phone. And so I think that we don't really know how to interact with each other.
Right. So we don't have
Yeah.
like communication skills.
Yeah. I think I noticed that a lot with people my age is just lack of communication skills in general and like kind of that awkward way of communicating. And yeah.
I also noticed that sometimes when I talk to people and there are some like pauses
Mhm.
between, I don't know, our sentences.
Mhm.
There's an awkward pause
Mhm.
and nobody knows like what to say
Mhm.
next.
Yeah.
And I think it also affects the mm, like all people.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's actually something that I've just started like understanding is like that's just part of having a conversation with someone. Like you could be super comfortable with them. It could be my sister, it could be my mom, but there's going to be a pause where somebody doesn't know what to say
Right.
always. And like understanding how to navigate that and knowing how to have that communication skill I think is what people lack because they don't do that. They just there's a pause. I don't know what to say, so I'm gonna go on my phone.
Ugh,
And
that's crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy. I know.
or oh, I guess the conversation's over, so like I'm gonna scroll now. Yeah.
Do have you ever felt like you couldn't put your phone down for like oh I'm on my phone all the time instead of having a conversation with someone.
Hmm. I think. I mean, I'm sure there has been a time. I think that I try to be when I'm with somebody. I try to be really intentional about not being on my phone because it bothers me a lot when somebody is
Oh
on their
yes.
phone when I'm with them. So I think in a social setting, I try to be really mindful of that. Um, but I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure. I mean, I know I've felt uncomfortable around someone, and instead of talking to them, I've gone on my phone or not talked to them.
I think it's again like so like like the skill they
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
everything like this about the skill, like they don't know what to talk about and like they put their phone and they don't even know how to start the conversation with a
Exactly.
person.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's also affects uh, sometimes I think, oh my God, maybe it's me. Maybe I don't know English because it's my not
Mhm.
my not my native language,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, maybe it's not it's me. Maybe I don't know English enough, or I don't know some slang
Mhm.
from the,
Mhm.
and I don't know what to talk about. But
Yeah.
I think that's the social media problem because everybody they use the, you know the chat GPT and like,
Yeah.
oh, can you create a sentence for me,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
That's what I do also. But
Yeah.
like you don't work with the skill, like you
Yeah.
don't like you have that trouble with the communication skill. Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. And it's if you don't practice, you're not gonna
Right.
get better. You're not gonna work that muscle. You're not gonna learn how to communicate with people
Yes.
if you don't do it. And I think for me, that's been a huge thing. Is like I'm a pretty shy person. I think that I can be kind of awkward, and like realizing that you're gonna have like to be able to talk to people, you have to go out and talk to people.
Oh yeah.
Like you're not gonna know how to do that unless you don't do it.
It like yes, it's especially as for us, like to create the good music, you have to at
Exactly.
least to create something. It's
Yeah.
like you wake up and like, oh, I'm gonna create a hit right now. But if you
Yeah.
didn't do it for remember, like I was we were setting up the instruments right now, the
Mhm.
microphones, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot that. But I learned how to do that, but I forgot it already. You know,
Yeah.
you have to practice all the time.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the
Yeah.
communications. Oh,
I would say one more tip about sorry
you're
to
fine, you're
interrupt you.
fine. Go
I
ahead.
would say one more tip about trying to not be so addicted to social media is just trying to feel fulfilled in your life. Like having good social connections, having something that makes you happy, whether that's a hobby or a job or just something or just to create. I think being fulfilled and happy, which is way easier said than done, um, will make it harder for you or make you like you said you won't want to go online as much when you're want to live in your real life, you know?
Yes, to create. You
Yeah.
know that what they say, like you're not actually horny. You need a hug, or
Yeah.
you're not actually
Yes.
like
Yes.
something like that.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, since we're talking about the tips, I um I didn't have a lot of notifications
Mhm.
on my phone, but few maybe weeks ago, I turned off all the notifications, like at all. I don't have
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
And I think yesterday I was working on my computer and I was so busy. I know I had to leave my house like in 30 minutes, but I knew that I have to finish and I had time. So I was working and my phone rang. I was like, "Oh my God." And that interrupted the whole process. So
Mhm.
um I didn't finish my work.
Mhm.
I didn't like I was disturbed. I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on? What's going on?" And that's an also nice. Do you have any notifications on your phone?
I do. I do. And I think that's a good tip is turning off notifications because sometimes I find myself getting like annoyed with people. Like I'm like leave me alone. Like stop texting me. Like I'm in the middle of doing something or like you said I'm working on something and their notifications come in or maybe they texted me something or emailed me something like upsetting or maybe my mom texted me something that that would annoy me and it's like now my peace is disturbed and now my creative process is disturbed and I think turning off your notifications, turning your phone on do not disturb is really important and really good.
It's not even about the like that people annoy.
Yeah, no, no, no.
I don't know, but I was
Yeah.
just yeah, that too. But it's sometimes when you take your phone just to read one message
Yeah.
and like you notice you like wind up in Instagram or something
Yes. Yes.
and you see the
Yeah.
hours. It's like, oh my god, it was like 3 o'clock, now it's
Mhm.
4.
Mhm.
It's like, what
Yes.
was I doing?
Yeah. And even like sometimes the act of like even just picking up your phone and reading that one text can take you completely out of whatever creative flow you are in. It's like when you're driving and you look down at your phone and then you look. I think there's a statistic that like it takes you 10 seconds or no, more like maybe like 30 seconds to like recalibrate your surroundings after you look down at your phone.
Oh wow.
And so like it can kind of like it takes you a second to like refocus and maybe you forgot what you were going to
and
do
dep-
or yeah, I don't know.
and depends on the speed.
Mhm.
When you drive like 90
Yeah.
miles an hour,
Yeah.
uh sometimes something is happening like in 5 seconds and the 30 seconds is too
Yeah,
long.
exactly, and you can't react and
Oh,
that's yeah.
tell me about it. About the phones,
I
that's
know.
crazy.
I
Like there are
know.
a lot of people. When I drive and I stop on the red light, I like turn my head
It's
and
everybody.
I see the person like on their
Yeah.
phone like instantly. Or
Yeah.
I think they didn't even pick up the phone on the red light. They were
No,
just on their phones,
I,
like they drive like
I drive
this.
on the highway and we're going 70 miles an hour and people are holding their phones in their
That's
hands.
crazy. That's
It's so
crazy.
scary.
People on their phones all the time.
They are. They are.
So
Yeah.
yes, and I notifications are crazy. Like you have to remove them. Like it's if you it's disturbing you.
Mhm.
Like you cannot even
Absolutely.
create. Everything is on your phone. Nothing is, you know, even I don't know. Even if someone is dying, I think you still have time maybe to. I don't know. I don't know what to
Yeah.
say.
No, no, I
But like
yeah.
nothing is happening. You can wait. Like the person
Yes,
can
it can
wait.
always wait. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something is always can wait.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
that disturbs me all the time. Yesterday, I noticed that like right away, and I don't want to turn off the call
Mhm.
notifications
Mhm.
because sometimes I get like really important calls,
Yeah.
But I think I try to tell people like, um, yes, I am. I try to tell people like I don't have any notifications. Please,
Mm-hmm.
if you need something from me,
Mm-hmm.
like right away, I won't probably answer you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
That's good because for me, I find myself kind of getting a little bit anxious when I turn off my notifications, and then if somebody texts me, I think, oh, I don't want them to think I'm ignoring them, or them to be, wondering why I'm not answering, and so I'll answer them. But yeah, just saying, hey, look, I'm not gonna be on my phone for a while. Like, yeah, hopefully it's nothing important.
I know
But
people are crazy right now because they want the instant answer. Or they like
mhm,
the
mhm,
can you can like I need to order what I need to order. I need to order like some vitamins,
mhm,
and I can order it from Amazon, and it's going to be delivered tomorrow.
mhm,
But there's another option. I can order it from the store, like a different store,
mhm,
and it's going to be delivered in like 5 days.
mhm.
And nobody's like, no, no way.
Yeah,
Even if it's more expensive in Amazon,
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
you don't want to wait. You're just like, oh,
yeah,
I don't need to wait. I don't want to wait. I just want
yeah,
to right now. I'm gonna have. I want to have it tomorrow or like
yeah.
even today. There are some deliveries that is by the end. If you order now, you'll get it by the end of the day. That's
Yes,
crazy.
yes. I think that's actually, I mean, that's a whole other thing we can go
People are so
into.
impatient.
Yes, it's just like needing that like instant gratification and that instant, yeah, just like everything right now.
That's why you scroll, and
That's why
that's
yeah.
why you need like, oh my god. And sometimes I notice that when I scroll for a long time for like an hour, I don't need to, because I already, like you said, got some dopamine.
Mhm.
I don't need to, like, I'm fine, I'm happy.
Mhm.
And in order to not scroll and be happy, you have to do something. And I was like,
Mhm.
no way, I have to do
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
And after you scroll an hour,
Yeah.
you don't need to do anything because
Exactly.
like you
Like
don't want to do anything,
I don't need to go work out. I already got my endorphins from my phone.
right?
Yeah.
And I have to work out for an hour
Yeah.
to get. So like it's so difficult.
Exactly. I don't need to go meet up with my friend because I already, got that social connection from my phone. Like I think that's yeah,
That's crazy.
right there is is why we're addicted to social media, I think. Yeah.
I noticed that in like a music right now, when you create, you have options with the AI right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
So when you do that, and it's like, I don't know, musicians will understand me. It's like it's on grid, like all the notes are on grid,
Mhm.
and then there's a button like humanize button.
Mhm.
When you press the button, it's like puts your notes off grid. So that's
Yeah.
that's why we humans we like imperfection
Yeah.
things. Like we're like, oh, I like then the note was not on the right time, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
also crazy
Yeah.
about that. And that perfectionism makes me not to do things.
Oh,
Like,
me too. Me
it's
too.
like it's better to scroll. So that's why I started to do that, the reels,
Mhm.
because like, oh, I just do them and I just do them, and I
Yeah.
and I don't expect anything from myself. It's like
Yeah.
I can do that. They don't need to be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, thank God some people got inspired from my reels, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I want to do the same.
That's how I felt.
Do you have any rules for yourself, like not to so I don't touch my phone during
Mm.
Sunday, or I don't touch my phone when I meet with my friend and I have lunch.
Yeah, I think I don't touch my phone when I'm with someone, or I try to be really good about not doing that unless it's, an emergency or something. I also have a very strict rule, which I'm good about sticking with, about not using my phone in the morning when I get up in the morning.
Oh, that's the
I
worst.
know. I'm actually pretty proud of it because I've gotten really good about that. And like, I don't have a set time limit, but it's like, I don't check it when I wake up. My routine, it's not even a part of my routine now because I've just created it a habit where I don't even think about it. But I get up and I go make a tea and then I'll read for a little bit and then I'll check my phone like, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours
Nice.
after I get up.
I love it. I always
Yeah.
check them. Sometimes instead of, for example, I have to wake up 8 and I have to leave my house at
Mhm.
9. So what I do, I wake up at 8
Mhm.
and I check my
Mhm.
Instagram till 8:45,
Mhm.
and then I have 15 minutes. What do? I go to shower for like 5 minutes, and meanwhile I put something on my I fry something, I
Mhm.
put
Mhm.
the I make the tea, and everything is ready by 9, but I didn't
Mhm.
have time to have breakfast. So what I
Mhm.
do, I take everything in my car and I eat in my car while I'm
Mhm.
driving, which is it's crazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't know what to do. I mean, I think I got better,
Mhm.
and especially when you create something, you notice that, oh, I'm not interested anymore in
Mhm.
other people's lives, because I need to, in order to create, you have to think what to create. And I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, instead of
Yes.
watching other people's life, I think, oh my god, I have to, what do I have to do tonight? What reels, like what reel
Mhm.
do I want to do, or like about what, something like
Mhm.
that. That's crazy.
Yes. I have noticed that too, where it's like I don't want that distraction. Like I don't want to be distracted, or like I've noticed that feeling too, where it's like if I'm on my phone, then I'm not thinking about the things I want to create, or I don't have that space in my brain when it's being filled with all this other stimulation, and I think like once you kind of find that quiet almost of like not scrolling and not having that constant kind of influx of information, you start to think, and you start to have ideas, and you start to have inspiration. And I don't, where was I going with that? Oh, but you kind of crave that instead of craving all of the information that you're getting from your phone. I don't know if that makes sense.
Like you have you have, for example, you have some memory in your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah.
You like you put, instead of putting like other people's lives, and put
It's your own. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
make your own.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
What do you think about, it's not about the Instagram,
Mhm.
but sometimes, and myself,
Mhm.
like we always say, oh, but I'm not on Instagram, but I watch YouTube videos, for
Mhm.
example.
Mhm.
Is it the same?
I would say it depends what content you're watching on YouTube, and I would also like kind of still having that question to yourself, like, why am I watching this so I can get new information? Am I watching this video about how to do something, or am I watching this video to distract myself, or as a yeah, I think just like still having that awareness of, what is the purpose behind what I'm doing right now. So I think it depends. What do you think?
Ah, it's crazy for me because I'm gonna say the word crazy in this podcast a hundred times.
Mhm.
For me, it's a little bit. I think it's, yeah, I agree with you. It's like depends on the content,
Mhm.
but um, I think it's boring for me to watch nice and educational content when I, for example, eat. When I
Mhm.
eat, I
Mhm.
I watch YouTube all the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think that's the problem. Do you, like, because I think I don't have anyone to
Yeah.
eat with,
Yeah.
so that's why like it's my mm, kind of my um, another person.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what to
Yeah.
say.
No, no. I mean, I do that too, and I don't think there's anything wrong with using social media. Like everything's about balance. Like if you're using it, your
Yeah.
your favorite. I think if you're using it occasionally because it's fun and it makes you feel good and it's entertaining, like there's nothing wrong with that. It's the same as watching a movie or whatever having an occasional drink. But if you're doing it to the point where it's affecting you negatively and preventing you from doing the things in your life that you want to do and create the things that you want to do, I think that's when it's a problem. If you're just watching a YouTube video to entertain yourself while you eat, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What do you
Ooh.
think?
Yeah. As you see, I'm doing podcasts, so I'm proud of myself. And I think that's because I don't have notifications.
Mhm.
I stop I stopped scrolling for like an hours,
Mhm. Mhm.
for not an hour, but for
Mhm.
hours. And I start I started thinking what to create.
Mhm.
So yes, I think I start to, also I do walks, like an hour walk every day. I try to
Yeah,
do that like
I
every
do that
day, like
too.
an hour walk
Yeah.
with no phones, no
Mhm.
music. I used to do that with music,
Mhm.
but I think it doesn't work with the same way.
Mhm.
You have to like be like empty.
Mhm.
And I noticed that I enjoy walking like more. I
Yeah.
enjoy the way I enjoy the surroundings. I was like, wow, and especially we live here in such an amazing place.
Mhm.
Like that there's a ocean like 5 minutes away,
Yeah.
and there are like people are smiling all the time. Like I know it's
Yeah.
difficult because it's
Yeah.
everything in our phones right now, and even like we work on our computers, on our phones all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yes, that's
Yeah.
kind of another tip. Do you have anything else? And also like restriction time, yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
And don't press the the like the ignore button
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. They make it too easy to do
Yes.
that.
So
Yeah.
I think it used to be a password. Or do you have to put the password right
There.
now?
I don't. But I think you're right. There used to be, or maybe you can still set it
I
where
have
you
to check
have
this
to
out
do
because
that.
when you
Yeah.
sometimes the put to make an effort to put the password,
Yeah. And then you're like,
I noticed that I don't care
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also think not that I know to think, but
Mhm.
I asked my friend like I have few social medias and we have Instagram, we have like Telegram, we have WhatsApp,
Mhm.
and I talk with some of my friends or my family on WhatsApp,
Mhm.
some of my friends on Telegram, and some of my friends on Instagram.
Mhm.
And I once I asked my friend, can we not to because my friend uh, doesn't like Telegram or
Mhm.
WhatsApp,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
we always talk through Instagram.
Mhm.
And I was like, can we talk on somewhere else?
Oh, that's good.
And the person's like, no.
Uh huh.
Can you just talk and not check the reels? But
Uh,
it's so
it's
difficult,
so difficult. You're right. That's a really good tip, actually. I find like there's people that I only talk to on Instagram, but I'll go respond to their message and then I'm on the reels or like
right? So that's
scrolling.
I don't know
Yeah,
what to do because
yeah,
some
that's a
people
good.
they're like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, I've never even asked, but that's a good tip. It's just like ask and.
Probably if it's if another person doesn't um, scroll all the time, maybe
Mhm.
it's not a problem
Maybe
for
yeah,
them.
yeah,
I'm afraid that
yeah.
it's gonna be maybe less communication between you after you completely
Maybe.
decide to not to touch Instagram
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what about if you? I mean, we're not that famous yet,
Mhm. Yeah.
but what if like you're gonna get more comments and
Mhm.
like more
Yeah.
like social media, like from different from other people
Mhm.
in your direct? What? How do you cope with that?
That's interesting. I've heard a lot of people who like social media as their job talk about this a little bit, and I from what I've heard, it sounds like they almost use it less. Like it's their job. That like a lot of people who are online as their job, like you look at who they follow and it's a zero. Like they don't follow people. They have
Yeah.
maybe like 8 million followers and then they follow zero people. So it's like I it seems like they kind of just go on. Maybe they engage a little bit with their followers, but then they don't have a feed. Like they're not following anybody. They're not. I don't know. So it's like their job, I guess, and it's not like for fun. I don't know. I don't. That's kind of what I've gotten, but I don't know
Hmm.
if I would do that. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
I
hard.
mean,
What do you think?
I have some people I cannot unfollow them. So
Yes, right. I mean,
it's like they're my friends. They're like
yes,
I cannot unfollow you.
yeah, I agree. So, I don't know. Like right now, my Instagram is a personal like
Personal, yes.
it's all people, all my friends, all people in my life. So maybe it's different when your social media page is your job and nothing else. I
So
don't know.
you think that you have to create another like different page?
Maybe or I don't know. Maybe they just don't use
I don't
don't use
want. It's gonna be
Instagram
another
that. I
Instagram
know.
for me.
I
No
know.
way. And
I know.
they
I don't know.
they put different stuff for you. They know what you like,
Right.
but
Right.
they could put like they put different reels, and they're like you keep scrolling. No,
Yeah.
I cannot.
I don't
I
know.
won't. I won't
I
be
don't
able
know.
to handle two Instagrams. No, no way.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Uh I think. How do you feel about yourself when when you spend so much time on
I
Instagram?
do not feel good. And that was like kind of what I said in the beginning was like I almost feel the same like feeling that I would feel if I went out and like drank a lot and like it's like oh kind of guilty and like I find a lot if I'm on my phone for a long time, I feel so tired and like I don't want to do anything else and I just feel like ugh, just like not good in any way. And I think noticing that feeling has really made me not want to scroll for so long. It's just like knowing that I'm going to feel that way has kind of it's like kind of why I stopped drinking. Is like I the feeling that I had afterwards was so bad that I just didn't want to do the initial
You don't want
thing.
to you don't want to enjoy for a couple of hours.
Yeah, for that horrible feeling at the end.
The
Yeah.
next day. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
what about
great.
you?
Sometimes I even have a headache.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I get migraines if I'm on my
It's
phone too
like, oh
much.
my
Yeah.
god, that's crazy. And I
Yeah.
don't usually have headache.
Yeah.
That's
Same.
great. That's
Same.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel bad when you scroll for a long time?
I I feel like, yeah. I think I'm tired.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just tired.
Mhm.
Yeah. And do you they also say, do you compare yourself with other people, like we were talking in the beginning?
Mhm. I think so. I think I feel like a lot of people like to blame a lot of like, beauty standards and stuff on social media and like I agree with that. And I think it's almost subconscious for me at least. Like when I'm looking at people's pictures, I'm not like, oh, like I don't like myself because they look this certain way. But I think to a certain degree, it does start to affect your self esteem a little bit.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
So like any changes in your self-esteem?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, I think it comes down to more of like I feel like my self esteem is the highest when I'm present. And like because when I'm present, I want to feel good. I want to take care of myself. I want to look good. And when I'm, on my phone scrolling and not present in my own life, you know, I I almost go numb and I don't feel good and I don't feel present and maybe I don't leave my house cuz I've been on my phone for so long so I don't really care about looking good.
Oh yeah.
And then I go out into the world, into society, and I have to interact with people in real life. And like, I haven't been doing that because I've been on my phone. So I feel like not good about myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but
And I think um I don't compare
mm-mm.
myself with other
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
like if I answer consciously,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I think I still do.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
maybe, like I was saying in the beginning, like, oh my god, he has a podcast and I
Mhm.
don't.
Mhm.
Kind of, that's a
Yeah.
comparison, I
Yeah.
think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that kills the joy. That, that what they say, comparison is the kill of joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to compare
Absolutely.
yourself with other people. Oh,
Mhm.
that's crazy, because they everybody have their own like way
Yeah.
of doing things.
Yeah. And I know it's said so many times, but like they're only showing this tiny part of it, They're not showing the whole picture of like maybe they have this super successful podcast, but they're not showing, when they started and they were doubting themselves. Like even the first reel you posted, I thought was really good, where you talked about, not showing like the hard moments and, all the struggles because a lot of people don't show that and they just show themselves super successful and you compare yourself to them being super successful, but you're not comparing yourself to them when they were struggling. And so I think that I like when
Mm.
people are really real and raw on social media because
Nice.
yeah.
That's what I posted
Yeah,
this,
I
because I
loved it.
always do that.
Yeah.
I never show, like the difficult times. I just see,
Mhm.
oh look,
Yeah,
I'm successful, kind of
exactly,
like this. But
exactly.
yes, we have to. I mean, I wish the people show more
Mhm.
of their, like the way of the success,
I do
not
too.
just
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah, I do too. I also love a story. So I think if you show the whole story, it just people want to engage with you more. They know you, so they feel more connected to you. Like I think that's just overall just such a better way to be a presence on social media is just to show everything if you want to. Some people don't want to share that much, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to share like my maybe like like my underwear
Oh, sure.
details. But
I
yeah,
didn't mean that. I
but
meant,
yes,
yeah, like the
yes.
whole
But the
story.
story, yes, I
Yeah.
want to. That's why I started to do that
Mhm.
because yes, I still have. Uh, now I start my podcast. So it's like it's the beginning.
Mhm.
So it's maybe it's not perfect, or maybe it's I cannot even say the perfect
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, it's the beginning.
Mhm.
That's the way of like that's how people learn.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Again.
Yeah. Even like coming on here, I was a little bit nervous because, I was like, oh, what if I don't say the right things, or what if, you know, I don't, I'm awkward, or we have our awkward pauses and we don't know how to continue, and it's like, well, you're not gonna go, like.
Right, I understand. But yeah, again,
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah. Of
coming.
course.
This I
Of
appreciate
course.
that so much.
No, I mean, I love talking to you, and you're very easy to talk to.
Yeah,
So.
so you see, and I try to create like a nice and
Yeah.
chilled atmosphere
Yeah. It's
here
very
to be
cozy.
like cozy and just
Yeah,
talk.
I feel very comfortable.
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, that's I think that's the most important. That's what I told you. That's why I
Yeah.
want to do podcasts because I
Mhm.
want to talk to people,
Mhm.
and we usually have nice conversations. Maybe it's not good on cameras right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
but usually it's like because we're just starting. We can do another one
Mhm.
later
Mhm.
if you want to, and it's just that's the way.
Mhm.
That's the way of creating and trying. At
Yeah.
least trying. So
Yeah.
you see, I'm happy that I tried.
Yeah. Me too.
Do you think like it's social media also affect your like friendship and relationships?
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely. I think, like I said, as a person that's like pretty introverted and like shy, I've had to really make an effort to, make
To go out?
to go out and to make connections in real life, but it's so much more fulfilling, and I think that that's just, made it a lot easier because in the past, I would just go on my phone and, no, I don't need to meet people cuz like
Oh
I
yes.
don't know, I just didn't feel like I needed it cuz I was kind of getting it from my phone, but it was a temporary fulfillment, like it was a temporary fix.
I think that affected me a lot because
Mhm.
I think I'm not I don't know, maybe it's the generation thing,
Mhm.
but I think I'm not good in social media,
Mhm.
and I usually like I prefer to go out and to meet people
Mhm.
because it's for
Mhm.
me it's difficult to for me it's there are a lot of
There's a
noises around.
dog. I don't know.
Hopefully it's not gonna be
Yeah.
recorded. For me it's like difficult to meet people on social media,
Mhm.
so it's for me it's easier to
Mhm.
go out and like meet some people
Mhm.
and become friends
Mhm.
because I think I'm more uh, I don't know, comfortable
Mhm.
actually talking to
Mhm.
people instead of talking on like an Instagram
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
whatever social medias.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not that introvert, but it's the I don't know. It's getting sometimes it's interchangeable.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to be by myself.
Mhm.
I want to be alone. I want to
Mhm.
be in my social medias. But
Yeah.
sometimes I just want to be out there and just meet people.
Mhm. Yeah. I would say that for me it wasn't like it was easy for me to meet people online because I don't enjoy that either. But it was more that I like didn't I didn't make an effort to meet people in real life, so I just would rather have, been at home, stayed at home, watched my show or whatever it may be.
Oh, shows are crazy.
Yeah.
That's another
Stayed at
thing.
home and but and didn't even pursue a life of my own socially. I don't know if that makes sense, but so I would watch other people vlogging themselves, in Europe, meeting all these people or having these fun adventures, and I would just watch them and not do that for myself, and then kind of started, going out and doing that stuff for myself and having those adventures myself and meeting people in real life myself, and I think that's,
Instead of like creating
ins-
your, do you want to create your own vlog, or do you want to create your just not about the vlogging? Do you want
yeah.
to create your own adventure?
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead of watching other people vlogging, you want to just go and travel by
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
And why
Exactly.
you don't do that because you just oh I already saw,
Yeah.
Paris
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she showed me already
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for a long time I thought like that. Was like, oh, I saw this person's video. I don't need to go do it myself. But it's so much better when you do it when you go and do it
right.
yourself.
So
Yeah.
that's why I told you like a
Mhm.
few minutes ago. That's the I started to create, and I
Mhm.
noticed that, oh my God, I'm not interested anymore
Mhm.
in other people's
Mhm.
social media and their lives. There's
Yeah.
like, it's not interested anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Cuz you're
crazy.
doing it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to think, oh, what I started to think not about what do I have to do to make my like social media interesting, but I started to think, oh my God, what I want to do, and maybe what I want to show
Mm.
other
Mhm.
people, like uh that's why I try to share like their real life, like, yes, that's me and I have troubles.
Mhm.
Yes, that's me and I walk
Mhm.
around the beach
Yeah.
without my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, because you're
Yeah.
going to Paris, are you going to do
I know.
something? You're going to do the vlog, or you want
I
to,
should, shouldn't I? I should do something.
if you want to,
I
yes.
think I should. We'll see. Maybe.
At least
Maybe.
you
Yeah.
you know I have to that's a kind of my one of my habits to
Mhm.
try,
Yeah.
like without trying you would never be
Right. Yeah.
whatever I
Yeah.
am right now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just have to try, just, or maybe it's your thing or maybe it's not,
Mhm. Mhm.
and not to
Yeah.
be um not to regret, like, oh, I tried and that I didn't like that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like, you just, it's okay, go ahead, the next thing. So you
Mhm.
just need to be like focus on one thing. Oh, I'm a failure. You have
Mhm.
to be like more, or I tried
Mhm.
and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to try the next thing. I want to try.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried my podcast. I'm so
Mhm.
happy. Yes, it didn't go the way I wanted, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Or but be like more, like I was saying previously, be more positive, like,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
tried,
Mhm.
yes, but I want to try next thing,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I tried vlogging, okay, uh, now I want to try, I don't
Mhm.
know, something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to try
Yeah.
surfing.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe I'll vlog one day or make a reel one day and
Mm,
see how it goes.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
always step by step, is you
Yeah.
don't need to do okay, I'm doing podcast and I have to post every single day.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to
Yeah.
do that
Yeah.
because you're gonna burn out.
Mhm.
So just step by step, start with one podcast maybe, and it's a long process. It's like you have to make an arrangement with the
Mhm.
person. You have to like set everything up. You have to edit later.
Mhm.
You have
Yeah.
to post. Like, it's a lot of
Yeah.
work. So
Yeah.
you don't need to force yourself. Just you know, step by step.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's also that's it
Yeah.
also kind of a habit, like do something like step by step,
Definitely. Yeah.
not because I was trying, and also I think you enjoy better than you do step by step. You
Yeah.
leave the moment,
Yeah. Exactly.
because it's kind of, I changed that mindset like
Mhm.
recently.
Mhm.
I started to enjoy like every step I do. Like, I post one reel, and
Mhm.
yes, it has 200 views, but I enjoy the process, and maybe the next one is going to be better, or
Mhm.
but it just, I don't wait for the results. It's like
Mhm.
with the
Mhm.
social media, like I
Yeah.
posted everything, like, oh, look, I'm a pilot,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I didn't show them 1 year of my studying and struggling and the same thing. So, but I stopped waiting for the end. I like enjoy
Yeah.
I enjoy the moment right now. It's
Yeah.
like I enjoy sitting right here and
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah.
and it's really nice. And I don't need to, oh my God, this podcast, like 5 people gonna watch this
Mhm.
podcast. I don't
Mhm.
care about that.
Yeah.
Like, because I enjoy the moment right now. Like, oh, I'm having fun right now. It's like so nice, and
Yeah.
kind of my dream is here. Like, it's
Yeah.
coming true.
Yeah. 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 That's everything you said was so good just now, and I agree with that so much. I think just like learning to be present is just like it just makes life so much better. And I don't know if I want it. There's a quote in that I actually want to get tattooed, but it's in Spanish and it's um "Pa vivir el sueño hay que estar despierto," and it's like to to live the dream you have to be awake for it. And I think that like that's just like I'm trying to live by that because it's so true. Like being here and talking to you is so much more fun than actually like having the podcast up on social or up online.
Like down,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Like what they say, yeah, there was it's not a saying, it's like a more a story.
Mhm.
There was a teacher, and
Mhm.
there are a lot of students, and he was telling them, oh look, I'm right here, and I'm teaching you,
Mhm.
and you're not here.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we are right here, we are studying.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm right here, and
Mhm.
I'm looking at you right now, I'm teaching you right now,
Mhm.
but you are not here. You already think that, oh, after that class I'm gonna go eat, I'm gonna what I'm gonna
Mhm.
do, and tonight I'm gonna watch this movie. So
Mhm.
you're not
Mhm.
actually in the moment.
Yes. Yes. I've like become so aware of that. I think just in this last maybe 6 months or year, I just like really started noticing that. And I think to go back to social media, but I think social media really affects our ability to be present and be, here right now.
Yeah, because I think Instagram is made for to show like the no, I think nobody wants to post their bad days
Oh,
there. Like
yeah.
they want to
Yeah.
post like, oh look, I'm drinking Dom Perignon and on Maldives, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
nobody wants to show like, oh, now I'm poor, I don't have money to pay for my
Yeah.
like rent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so be present. That's
Yeah.
the key. Do you think social like media like has done more harm to the society?
Hmm. That's a good question. It's hard to say.
I know,
I
right?
think in terms of social, yes. In
It's
terms
just
of happiness, I would say it's hard to say because I think in a lot of ways it's made people really free in the way that it's kind of allowed people to do a lot of jobs online and kind of like, travel and live, not a 9 to 5, you know, normal life. So it's so hard to say. I don't know. What do you think?
I was watching that movie. I think it's on Netflix. It's social. I think it's Social Dilemma.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So they were talking about that people were creating a lot um, to help people, like that
Mhm.
social media to help people,
Mhm.
but they didn't care about the other like other side of the moon, of the like negativity and the harm
Mhm.
and that the addiction that
Mhm.
actually people have right now.
Mhm.
So I think not yet, but I think it's going there if we are
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
gonna be like aware,
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Is yeah, not yet, but we're headed there if
E-
we don't
especially with the
change.
AI right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good answer.
It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
That we already kind of talked about that, but yes, I think there was a question like, do you think like everything um social media changed the way we communicate? Uh, in a way, I want to talk about that in a way
Mhm.
that we don't know how to maybe we also like should have short answers and short questions.
Mhm.
Do you think that it's a little bit affecting?
Mm. That's an interesting question. Yeah, actually, yeah. I've never thought about it that way, but yes. And I wonder if it almost comes. Oh, go, go, go,
It's like
go.
a little bit more like I think I like deep conversations
Mhm.
like we
Mhm.
have all the time,
Yeah.
but not so many people want
Yeah.
that deep conversation. They're like more, hey, and
Yeah.
something. That's the question about like about the maybe social media changed that deep
Mhm.
communications with people.
Yeah. I wonder if it has to do with the fear of being vulnerable with each other. And I think that's the answer that I give because that's how like I've experienced that of like somebody even I think I've done this with you where you'll ask me something and I give a short answer and then I kind of deflect back to you or like I'll
Okay,
ask you a
what do you
question.
think? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I think for me at least that comes from fear of being vulnerable, or like, oh, if I answer how I'm going to answer, like, what are you going to think, or kind of always gauging. I think social media has made us very aware of what people are going to think about us, and kind of self-conscious about how we appear in the world. I don't know if that makes sense.
But you're saying that you were like you were thinking, oh, what am I gonna say or what am I gonna think?
Yeah.
But it's just from your perspective.
Yes. Yes.
That's kind of the way I think I'm better with in real life,
Mhm.
because in social media you read the message from other like
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
for example from you.
Mhm.
Uh, let's say let's say you said let's say you texted me, uh, I cannot come, I'm busy.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
can read that with a different
Right.
like way. I can read it
Mhm.
with a, oh, you know what, I'm so sorry, I'm busy and I
Mhm.
just cannot come. Or I
Mhm.
can read like, ah, I don't like you, I hate
Mhm.
you,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I won't come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of uh, I think that's your answer.
Mhm.
If you like, you started to think, I because I always think like, oh my God, if I do that, what are they gonna think?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's because of the social media?
I think it has to, yeah, I think it kind of has to do with it. And I think we're a lot of people maybe are scared of like intimacy and like
Like to be vulnerable, like you
vulnerable,
said.
and like what maybe the responsibility, not responsibility, like I don't know how to say it, but like
To think that like to be like to think that, oh, he's gonna think I'm stupid, something like that.
yeah, yeah, or like yeah, 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 or like if I share my real thoughts,
Okay.
what is this, it am I going to be judged, even if it's something like so not important. It's, I think, I don't know, does that make sense, like kind of.
Do you think you do you think you're not that honest with your answers, or like in general?
No, I
Like
think.
when I ask you a question, for example, what do you think about podcast?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
would say, oh my God, he's gonna think that, he's gonna think that, he's gonna think
Mhm.
that, and then you
Mhm.
answer like what I want to hear from you, or not that your honest
Yeah,
answer, something
I
like
mean,
that.
this can be a whole other topic.
Oh yeah,
but
right.
but I think if you asked me that question a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have said that I would have answered how I thought that you would want, or how you wanted me to answer. I think now I answer how I truly feel and like what my real thoughts are, but that's something that I've had to overcome because I am such a people pleaser that 2 years ago I would have answered, how does Ilya want me to answer? And I'm going to answer in that way regardless of what I think
Oh, okay,
myself.
okay. Is it just towards me, or is it like in general, like you change your mindset? It's just because I'm asking
In
because
general, in general.
in
Yeah.
I'm asking because we met each other
Mhm.
like 6 months ago,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And in
Mhm.
the beginning, we didn't have a lot of conversations,
Mhm.
but later, like after a while,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like again, step by step,
Yeah.
like we started to talk about a lot of different things, and we
Mhm.
started to talk about different topics.
Mhm.
Is That's why I'm asking, is just because when you talk to me, I don't judge, or I don't expect you to answer the way I want you to answer. I want what I want to hear. Just I want to hear the
Mhm.
truth, or I want to hear your like your answer. That's why that my podcast is for, just to hear the
Mhm.
other people's
Mhm.
opinions, not like exact my point of view.
Yeah. I think, to be honest with you, I feel very like I feel like I can answer genuinely like
Hmm.
how I feel, and that's part of the reason I love talking to you.
Nice.
But I think I've tried to be really good about doing that with everybody, because if I'm not doing that, then I'm not being who I am. I'm not being genuine to myself, and
Right.
I'm you know creating this person that's not really real. And I think, like, going back to social media, I think that's what we do on social media, is showing the best version ourselves, and showing the best angle and the best answer and the best, and maybe that's not even real. It might probably isn't even real. And I think, like, showing up in the world as myself, the real version of myself, is something I've really tried to do. this like in the 2 years. I feel like I've been really intentional about doing that. And with you, it's very easy.
Nice, nice. I'm so
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Um, what did you do to change that mindset? You just started to talk to people.
Yeah, I just started to talk to people and give them and just be honest when they ask me my opinions about something instead of thinking like, "Oh, what do they think? What's their opinion on this topic?" I would answer honestly, and I think it just came from realizing like the same like when I would answer not in a genuine way, I would feel bad about myself. And that same like feeling of like when you do something so many times, like feeling so bad about yourself to a certain point where you're like, I need to change that because, I don't feel confident. I don't feel like myself. I don't yeah. So
Nice.
needing to change it because of that. Yeah.
Mm, I know. Maybe I always say that's why I don't have a lot of friends because I
Mhm.
always answer honest. Like I have honesty all the time. Like
Yeah.
because I think that's the friendships is for me. Friendship is like to be honest.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I always try to be honest with the person. Like I
Yeah.
don't need to hide or like disguise
Yes. Yeah.
a real me. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
that's a good way to change that. I think it's difficult.
Yeah.
I think you have to have balls for that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think that's the way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I actually want to tell you that that was one of the things about you that I just was like so I don't know, that made me like you so much. Was like i- in class you were just like so and just in general you're so unapologetically yourself. And
Oh,
but like in the best way. Like cuz you're such a great person and but you're so genuine. And
thank you.
yeah, like you
You're
say
such
what's
a
on your
great person.
thank you. But you say what's on your mind and you're not afraid and I was just like, wow, I want to be like Ilya. Like
Oh, oh, that's so
I want
nice.
to disagree when I don't agree with something and yeah, I don't know. You're inspiring to me in that way.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're
think it's
welcome.
just because I think that's my life and I want to live my best life
Yeah, yeah,
like every day.
yeah.
That's why I don't want to, but you know what I want to say that I wasn't like this before.
Mhm,
Like I had to learn this. I
mhm,
had to uh, be unapologetic, like you said, because
mhm.
I was also like a people's pleaser. I was like, oh my
Mhm.
God, what he's gonna think.
Yeah.
But you have to learn those things. Like
Mhm.
if you don't know how to do that, you just have to because if you feel comfortable, go ahead. Like
Mhm.
if you find that's fine. But
Mhm.
if you don't feel like, oh my God, I don't feel uh, like me, like myself,
Mhm.
you have to
Mhm.
learn it. And I think that the
Mhm.
goal is to say no.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know it's maybe it's different
Yeah.
topic, but uh, and I think maybe actually social media is good for that because
Mhm.
it's easy to type no instead of like say to the
Yeah.
person.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's not just to say no to everything, but to
Mhm.
say no to say no towards to your yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like I want, yes, I like you. I want to go out with you tonight
Mhm.
and be there till 2 o'clock in the morning
Mhm.
and wake up tomorrow at 10.
Mhm.
Yes, but I'm gonna say no because I have plans for tomorrow. I have
Mhm.
to do my
Mhm.
podcast, so I have to edit my podcast
Yeah.
tomorrow. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's really good. And I've really struggled with that is saying no. And then kind of like feeling like, "Oh, why did I do that?" Or like, "Oh, why did I go out with that person and stay out so late when I knew I wanted to do this?" And then like not being able to set those boundaries for myself and then kind of not have I don't want to say resentment, but like kind of then I'm like, "Oh, then I can't be social at all because I can't set these boundaries for myself." You know what I mean? And it's like, "No, you have to set those boundaries for yourself and be social, but be comfortable setting those boundaries." I don't know if
Yes,
that makes
and
sense.
boundaries is again about
Yeah.
the social media.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
set your
exactly.
boundaries like I cannot wake up, open my eyes, and go straight to
Yeah.
Instagram. I have to set the boundaries.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, I want to do that,
Yes.
but you
Mhm.
say no to
Yes.
that, and you
Yeah.
say yes to I know I want to have breakfast
Mhm.
like proper breakfast, not inside my car, but
Mhm.
like with the
Yeah.
table. I just love, you see, I love the setups. I just love the tea, and I cannot do that in my car. It's like
Yes.
it's crazy. So
Yes.
instead of saying yes to Instagram, you say no, but you say yes to yourself, like towards yourself. So that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. Actually, that was another topic that I wrote wrote down in my notes was like understanding that like a want can be a want and not having to give into the want. Do you know what I mean? Like it's okay to want to go on your phone, but that doesn't mean you have to go on your
Oh
phone.
yes.
And kind of just having that self-awareness of like and almost discipline, I guess, to be like, no, like we're not going to do that right now. Like it's not going to make me feel good. The same way you might say no to like doing cocaine. Like do I want to? Maybe, but like no, like we don't I don't need to do that. I don't need to, like yeah,
Do you think it's like more? It's is it more? Um, comes from the addictive personality.
absolutely. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And like kind of understanding that like it's okay to crave things, but you don't need to give in to every single craving that you have. And I think that can once I understood that about life in general, I think that just things got a lot better.
Nice.
Like,
How did you learn not to like like go into those cravings, like every craving you have?
I think just like becoming really self-aware. I think I have a very addictive personality. Like I'll become addicted to anything if
I
it gives
think
me dopamine.
I think same here.
Yeah. Like if it makes me feel good, I'll become addicted to it. And I think understanding that and kno knowing that about myself was like so integral and important for me because it made me realize like this craving I'm having is a craving. It's not a need. It's not. I mean, sometimes food is like you need to eat or
Yes.
you need to have sex. I don't know, like okay, like kind of just understanding that like this is a craving that does not need to be fulfilled, especially if it's gonna make me feel bad afterwards.
How did you learn how to like yes?
Okay, so I think I learned by prioritizing feeling good and just understanding and becoming aware of how giving into these cravings or these desires would affect like is this going to make me feel good just in this moment and going to make me feel bad when it's over, if that makes sense, and kind of prioritizing feeling healthy, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling confident with myself and I don't know if we got it, but like
Like thinking ahead a little bit
yeah,
ahead.
kind of thinking ahead and like realizing how these different cravings would affect how I would show up in the world, how I would interact with someone, how I would present myself, how I would, feel confidence wise. And, you know, is, going out and drinking going to make me feel physically good? No. And not feeling physically good is going to affect how I can interact with someone because I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel confident. I feel gross. I feel, hungover. And just like, yeah, realizing that, like, maybe I'll feel good for these 2 hours or these 20 minutes or these 5 seconds or whatever it may be, but I'm not going to feel good, tomorrow or
Tomorrow.
or in 2 hours when this whatever high this is comes down. And so yeah, I think that's
Nice.
my answer. That's my answer to that.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I think we're kind of done, right?
I know. I think we got a lot of
Like it's
stuff.
no, the good sign when you're done about the conversations when you like don't like feel like you don't have energy anymore,
Yeah, yeah,
right? You like
yeah,
like you kind of
yeah,
like a squeeze lemon.
yeah.
That's a good sign.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not just because I mean, we can talk
No.
more, but I think their conversation is like it was on peak, and
Yeah.
like now it's like kind of getting down. So
Yeah.
it's really good.
I
I
agree.
enjoyed the conversation.
I
Thank you
did
so
too.
much.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes, hopefully, yeah, we're gonna. If you want, we can do it again.
I
We
would
can
love
talk
to.
on different
Yeah. I know.
because we were talking about the it's like a social media addiction, but we can talk about the addictions in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since we are both kind of have different, no, not different, kind of have the same addiction
Mhm.
personality.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm kind of getting better. I think you too.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
yes,
Yeah.
we can talk about that.
Yeah. There's so many topics I could
Oh
I could talk about with you.
yes, there are so many topics.
I know. So,
Cheers. Thank you.
cheers. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
A little bit of ASMR. Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. It was
Yeah.
nice conversation. I love it. And yes, um,
Is there a way that you wanna like close out your
cl-
podcast
like
or a
the
little
way
outro or
I don't know.
something
Follow,
that you're gonna say?
yeah, follow me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Consider. I always say consider
Oh,
because
that's good.
when you say follow me,
Mhm.
people you like kind of feel forced, like oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I'm like, I
And
don't want to.
like that's why I always say consider following me if you
Yeah.
like really like the podcast, and I hopefully it's gonna be another one and another one
Yeah.
and another one.
Yeah.
But I enjoy doing that. Like wow, like finally, I think it's sometimes I'm a little bit afraid that I always love new things.
Mhm.
Like oh my god,
Yeah.
music, something new.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I feel great and I'm happy. And now the same thing, like, oh my God, podcast, I'm so
Yeah.
happy and something new, something nice. But
Mhm.
I really enjoy like I feel I've never felt like this before. Like
Oh
it's really
wow.
like it's so it's like I know it's not done, but it's
Mhm.
I got like instant gratification, but not like I'm from scrolling. It's
Yeah.
just like kind of I don't know how to explain. It's like no words. I don't have
Yeah. You're
kind of
fulfilled.
yeah like
Kind of.
yes kind
Yeah.
of like and I yeah I don't know what
Yeah.
to say. See, there are
Yeah.
no words. Like yeah, I'm happy. Thank you
Yeah.
for supporting me.
Of course. Always. In anything that you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but yes, consider following me
Yeah.
and write down some comments. Write down some tips, right? If you
Yeah.
have some habits about how to avoid, or not to avoid, but to be in balance between
Mhm.
like real life and social media.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm gonna post maybe my social
Oh
medias.
yeah.
Like
Good
if you
idea.
want,
Yeah.
you can follow my social medias.
Yeah.